Hello, party people, and welcome to another episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
That's right. It's the comic book review show. We took comic books in the past week, recap them, review them, tell you what we thought about them, and then recommend comics that are coming out this week that we think you should check out. We also talk about comic book related movies and media like Creature Commandos, which dropped 2 episodes. The next episode drops on Thursday. That's right, episode 3 of Creature Commandos, a show that I maintained. I was like, if this was a movie, I would have watched it like the second it dropped. Yeah. As it stands, being a show, I watched it the day it dropped.
You did the night. I think we watched it like actually the day it came out.
Exactly.
We don't normally get an opportunity to do that, but we did. Like the stars aligned, and then that happened.
Yes, so we watched both episodes of Creature Commandos. So we're going to talk about that as well. We want to mention the show is sponsored by viewers like you. If you're watching the show live, Lord help you. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications so you know when we're going live, which is Mondays, typically after 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today we got a little late because been dealing with home ownership and just the nonsense that's associated with that.
But it worked out, and Doug's the best.
Yes,
and if Doug watched this show, Doug would know.
Yeah, he would know that how much we appreciate his hard work.
He's a real one.
Yeah,
Doug is a real one.
He is,
and yes,
that's right.
Doug additionally ate and left no crumbs. Let's be honest.
That's true. No, he did. He consumed. But yeah, we want to thank Doug for that, but also thank you for your patience for letting us start late. But yeah, sponsored the show. Thank you. And of course, that's really it. We're going to talk about comics. We're going to talk about what our book of the week is. We're going to talk about Creature Commandos after that. And then we're going to recommend comics that are coming out this week that we think you should check out. Before we get into it, of course, normally, we don't have the sponsors. You're the sponsor. We don't this week, but to point out, there is a little bit of like a shout out I want to give. I don't know if I can call it that because it's not, I'm not being paid to talk about it. But I was asked to talk about it. Why is this here?
I don't know.
Has that always been there?
Hi, I'm Sal from ComicPop. Behold.
Yeah, that is not supposed to be there.
It's me. I love this for me.
Why would they do this?
I love it so
Why did
much.
StreamYard change things?
Because this is the day you've been having today.
Yeah, it is.
It's okay. We're doing great. Let me take a peek. You keep talking, and I'm gonna fix this.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
And then she did.
Good Lord.
And then she ended the stream by accident.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, there's a omnibus coming from Dynamite. There was a backer kit we promoted not too long ago about the kind of like 40th anniversary for Ninja Turtles. I'm sorry, Ninja Turtles, Jesus. With Terminator. And I just got an email about that hopefully in the next couple of months, we're going to get it, which is exciting. But in that same vein, we're getting a 40th anniversary classic years omnibus of the Thundercats comic books that have come out over the years, because of course Dynamite now has the license for Thundercats. So they are promoting that by having this backer kit. So if you want to pick up omnibus that collects all of the recently out of print collections of Thundercats, which includes the Marvel years and so forth. I think they can't say Marvel, but I can. Marvel published the Thundercats book. In fact, that cover you're seeing right there is one of them. I remember that very vividly because we have that copy actually.
Okay.
But yeah, so if you want to get an omnibus that collects the 40th anniversary of all the classic years pre-Dynamite of Thundercats in comic book form, swing by. There is going to be a link in the chat and pinned to the comment section if you're watching the show after the fact. And of course, if you are watching the show after the fact, make sure to subscribe and check us out when we're going live so you can catch things like super chats and questions, and sometimes we do giveaways and stuff like that, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we just like hanging out with you.
Yeah, we do.
This whole thing, this collaboration, this with Dynamite.
Oh yes.
I had literally no idea there was this much in the pop culture zeitgeist about Thundercats.
No.
Until this. I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm sorry, what? Like every time I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, like how much Thundercats is there?
How is there this much Thundercats?
I know.
How much lore is there for Thundercats?
Well, there's a lot of Thundercats lore.
Okay.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
I mean, we haven't even gotten into the fact that like they're technically in the same universe as the Silverhawks, which are also gonna get their own book from Dynamite. That we actually talked to the creative team, or at least 50% of it.
Yes, you did
on the show.
Yes, you did.
But yeah. By the way, if you are interested and you don't want to deal with the whole omnibus format, like you can actually break it up. You can get 2 trade paperbacks or 1 oversized hardcover. So
Nice.
Gives it your whole thing. In addition to that, of course, make sure to click the link in the comments or in the live chat right now to check out that backer kit. See if it's right for you. You can just back it, give it your thoughts, and check out your tiers and your benefits. Right now, I think the target was $20,000. It's at $80,000. And of course, when it gets higher than that, usually you can get more
you get
rewards.
stuff.
You get more stuff. So check that out.
Get that stuff.
So check out the Thundercats 40th Anniversary Classic Years Omnibus Backer Kit from Dynamite Entertainment. And again, so there's other news out there in the comic book world. That's what we also talk about typically, is comic book news.
Is that what we do?
Yeah, we try to anyway.
Dang.
So it's official. Chris Evans has been cast in the Secret Wars movie. Who thought?
Chris Evans is like, it's hard out there without Marvel.
He is. I'm sure he's not like that. I'm sure he's enjoying his residuals.
Big, beautiful man. What am I supposed to do out
here?
Yeah,
what are the... I mean, I don't know. What do whatever the other big, beautiful men who aren't working do.
Well, they're scary.
You work with most of them. I don't understand.
I know.
Well, Red One didn't do very well. So, And who would have seen that coming?
I'm sorry. I here's the thing. I feel like if you saw that movie and you liked it, I haven't seen it, but oh, great. That's awesome. It looks like it's a total popcorn flick, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that freaking movie, when that hard sell showed up on it, I was like, yo, what are you doing? You need to calm down, movie. You are be like, no, it's no, look.
What?
Just watch the movie.
No.
Just give me money.
I don't want to.
Just give me money.
I am not interested.
Oh, poor Chris Evans.
I know. He's fine. He's a great actor too.
And what's his name's in it too?
Who, in Red One?
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons?
Yes.
He's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another member of sort of the MCU.
That's true. Yeah, he technically is in the MCU.
Yeah. There you go. It's a crossover. You got
The Rock. Yeah, Black Adam's in that movie.
And Johnny Storm /
Yeah. Isn't it weird how Black Adam was the most important member of the DC universe when The Rock was playing him in a movie that hadn't come out yet? And then suddenly, now that that movie bombed and The Rock isn't Black Adam anymore in the comics, Black Adam isn't important. It's so weird. Because I thought Black Adam was the most important person in the universe, except for that whole swath of time when he wasn't.
Right.
But anyway, yeah. So I guess we can just talk about comic books. But
comic books.
Pew 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 pew.
Pew 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 pew.
I read All New Venom #1. Jumping in
did?
strong. Written by Al Ewing with art by Carlos Gomez. This is an all new Venom who has gold instead of white. Oh boy, that's exciting. The weird thing is, I didn't know this.
Well, that way they can get him away from being related to the black suit.
Well, no, that's what's so funny is that Venom has kind of been his own property for a while.
He's doing his own thing.
He's had 4 different events. There's that Cullen Bunn one you enjoyed. There's Extreme Venomverse or whatever. Yeah. There was the King in Black. There was that recent one that just wrapped up, which is where this dovetails into. But yeah, it's Venom has kind of become his own property, especially when he was a movie franchise.
Yeah.
And I say was because the 3rd one ended. Tom Hardy's out, and so I guess that's over.
Or is it? Because
I don't know. We'll see. Will he be the 6th member of the Sinister Six? I don't know.
I mean, the fact is, it's they're just waiting for the next cash cow to roll up. Craven.
Oh, can't wait. I'm sure Craven will really blow things away. I'm sure Craven is going to be the balm.
It really bothers me because Craven has there's an actual potential there for something, if not made by them.
You think?
I think Craven could be an interesting character, maybe not in his own movie, but by doing that, you've created it. You've completely
you've set him. You've hurt him.
Yeah,
you've hurt Morbius. You've hurt Venom. You've hurt.
No, I think Craven is a great character who should have been absolutely up against Spider-Man as opposed to.
Oh yeah. Oh, that would have been awesome. I know that there was a rumor out there that No Way Home had originally been if they had determined that Disney and Sony couldn't work together anymore, that 3rd Spider-Man movie was just going to be a New York-based movie where Craven hunts him. And I'm like, oh, that would have been really cool. As it stands, there's a lot of things I like about No Way Home, but Craven would have been fun. Oh well, instead he'll have his own movie that I'm sure a lot of you will see. But getting back to All New Venom, the idea here is that like there is an all new Venom, but you don't know who it is. I had heard a rumor, and I don't know actually if this is true or not. But my whole point of bringing up Sony in the first place was because I felt like, and I wasn't sure if it was official, that Venom had kind of had its own office, that it was like kind of shunted away from Spider-Man. Even though Venom is intrinsically a Spider-Man character, that the Marvel Comics offices were kind of regarding Venom as his own property and kind of like taking pains to separate him kind of further from Spider-Man.
Right.
But then I saw people complaining that the Spider-Man editor Nick Lowe has access to Venom, or that he's like editing the Venom book now or something. And I don't know if that's like, I don't know if there was some
like as a group editor. Or
yeah,
like
I don't know if he's like, I don't know if there was some kind of decision made, or if it's just kind of like someone noticed or something. Because in All New Venom, there are more Spider-Man characters in Venom than have ever been in the last like 10 years. And there's a new Venom in town. He's got a gold symbiote or dragon, depending on who you ask. And the identity of the Venom wearer is a mystery. And the book is about that. Like, the book is like, hey, do you want to guess who Venom is for however many issues? Like, remember when we did that with Thor? Remember when like Mighty Thor showed up and people were like, who's Thor? And they like kind of teased who it could be. They're doing that with Venom now, where it could be Joe Robbie Robertson. It could be like a 68-year-old man. Or it could be Rick Jones, who has no business being in a Venom book, but he is now, just so he could be a red herring. Or, it could be Luke Cage. Luke Cage, mayor of New York, could be Venom. The whole thing is there's like a trial, and then it gets mixed up, and then they get attacked by a villain, and Venom shows up and kicks their butt, and it's just like, okay. The reason I even bring it up is because it kind of wraps up with wait, wasn't Dylan Venom? Dylan being Eddie Brock's son? Like, if we're establishing that it's not Eddie and Dylan was Venom, there was a whole Venom war that I didn't read that wraps up what's going on with Eddie and Dylan and separates everybody from the Venoms and so forth. And I jokingly tossed out the idea that Paul was Venom.
Right.
I went on Twitter about like a week ago, and I was like, hey, have they announced that Paul is Venom yet?
Yeah, I saw that.
And and I'm convinced more than ever that Paul is Venom. But that's because Paul and Mary Jane are in this book, and Dylan Brock is now living with them. There's like a surrogate family now of like Peter Parker's ex-wife, the guy that she's with, and the son of his old former sworn enemy. They're a little family unit. And it's like, they're going out of their way to antagonize the audience, which is like a Marvel staple. And I don't understand. I do understand, because I know how it makes money, and I know how it works. Like, the audience who comes here to the show every week is like, why would I do that? Because like, you're discerning, and you are vociferous, and you don't want to, be fleeced.
Yes.
But by and large, the audience that reads the books, that like the Wednesday Warriors, the people who just keep this book afloat, or these books afloat, they just read and go like, and take it at face value. They're just like, I don't know. So like, anyway, Paul's here, and he's here to stay. And there's this weird dynamic where like Mary Jane is being jackpot, and Paul is just at home hanging out with his top knot, and like Dylan is like, ooh, I saw that Venom's attacking, and I want to be Venom again. And I'm like, okay. And it's just like the whole like chemistry of Nick Lowe's name is more prevalent than ever. He has like a whole column in the end of the book where he's like, hi, I'm Nick Lowe. I don't know if you know me, but like, people don't like me in the industry. But like, Nick Lowe notwithstanding, Paul is in the book, and Paul is clearly like a supporting character. And I think like people have gotten the impression like, oh, I don't think people want to read about like Mary Jane and Paul in the main Spider-Man book, because it just makes people upset. It makes the readers annoyed.
Weird.
So we'll put him in Venom. But I really feel this like deliberate decision to be like, I'm going to make Paul Venom, so that like Paul is here to stay, because it's really easy to like invent a new supporting character in Spider-Man's world, and then just like, if the writer doesn't care about them and a new writer doesn't care about them, they disappear.
Yeah,
You
poof.
know, until 25 years later when someone's like, hey, remember that Paul guy? I'm going to put him in there. Like, you know,
Yeah,
so I feel like this is like a deliberate attempt to be like, hey, let's make Paul relevant.
Yeah, is this Nick Lowe's Spider-Sona come to life?
is Paul Nick Lowe's Spider-Sona?
Yeah.
That's a funny thing. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. But there and like the whole mystery angle of like maybe Luke Cage is Venom. I'm like, that doesn't interest me at all. And I can't imagine it interests any. I can't imagine any Luke Cage fan being like, boy, the one thing that was missing from Luke Cage, besides him having a book, was him being Venom. Was him being covered from head to toe. Because one of the things that I love about Luke Cage is his head to toe body armor that covers up, you know, the fact that he's like a strong black man in the Marvel universe. Like I love obfuscating that fact. Like that, so it's not him. Because that also would just be a lame thing. And then Robbie, what? And Rick Jones, like
it just feels like, I guess if you are a Spider-Man supporting character, inevitably you're gonna become
you're gonna be a bad guy or a good guy. Like you're gonna be a super
powers.
Yeah, you have to have powers. Like if you make Robbie Robertson have powers, like you don't even know what company you work for. But it's just, you know, I said I give it a try and I did, and I was like, you know, maybe it's like a Venom, you know, maybe it like the logo and the gold, it implied like this way more, I don't know, front forward, like, I don't know, non-Venom kind of Venom, like maybe like a cosmic Venom, but we got that already in Venom Space Knight like 15 years ago. So
someone mentioned that Dylan made it gold.
Yeah.
Which is,
I think during Venom War.
I kind of appreciate that, where Dylan's just like, this is my thing.
Right. Let me own this.
Do my own
but
thing.
Don't forget, Dylan also traded the webbing for chains originally. Because chains are cool.
Cool. That means that Venom held on to the gold.
Yeah. Venom was like, I like the gold. I'm ditching the chains, though.
Yeah, I'm not doing the chains.
Which,
the gold,
good.
I do look good.
I guess. I mean, like, and I was like, man, it is a shame that Rick Jones isn't in books. It is also a shame that he is in this book. But, you know, no one is particularly out of character. The other thing is, like, it's Al Ewing. But it's just, it's weird. Like, it feels weird. It feels less organic. It doesn't feel like Al Ewing can write his own ticket.
Yeah.
You know, like Al Ewing, you know, when he's bored, he'll just go work at DC. But, like, he doesn't need a Venom book anymore. He did a Venom book. He did a Venom event.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He doesn't need this. So it's just weird. But anyway, it could be Phil Urich. I hope so. That'd be interesting because Phil Urich has the laugh, and the laugh is actually, you know, a sonic scream, which would hurt symbiote. So it's like he's got both, you know.
So he's got the laugh.
Yeah. Phil Urich is Ben Urich's nephew, who fell into some like experimental goblin sauce that turned him into like a, you know, like all the goblins wear an outfit.
Yeah.
In the 616 universe, anyway. This one, he still wears an outfit, but like his whole body is transformed. Like he didn't turn into a goblin, but like he is changed, and like he has a natural like power where he can laugh hard, and it turns into like a sonic scream that hurts people. He was the good Green Goblin.
Oh.
One of the few.
So he's like Black Canary.
Yeah. But goblin themed.
Yeah. Like a Joker Black Canary.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anyway, I mean, this is a pass, but like it happened.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to tell you that I read X-Force number 6. I thought you were going to go again. I don't know why. I was like, Sal will go.
I could go.
Nope, I'm going. X-Force number 6. It happened.
Yep.
It happened. It's a book that happened, and
I
read it.
I also read it.
Did you really?
Yeah, you told me to.
Oh, nice. It's written by Jeff Thorne with art this time by Jim Toe, who I think is also doing the art next time as well.
That's not. Yeah, I actually prefer that as opposed to like an artist jumping in doing one. Like, let us get a feel for you.
Different feel for the art, but not bad at all. Like,
toes the line, so to speak. No, he does a good job. I appreciate it because it has the same visual identity to the previous run.
Yeah, well, it was before. It was Marcus Toe.
Oh my god, that's incredible.
This continues to be easily my. How about this? This is the only X book I'm reading at this point, other than Dazzler. I fell off the other ones.
That's funny. You have an X book that you are like. We both read X-Force.
Yes.
You have another single female X-Men book that you read, just like I do.
Yeah,
I read Storm.
Mine's gonna end, and then I'll probably pick up another X book. Maybe I'll go back and read through one of the two big ones.
Storm. Pick up Storm.
No, I mean one of the big two X titles, just to see. But X-Force has really, for me, become like my I'm gonna peek into the world of X-Men for a little bit, because of the fact that this story is it's fun.
Yes.
And it's
but serious.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like when I say it's fun, I mean it's not written from a place of someone who's begrudging or doesn't it's oh, I gotta put down what came beforehand so that we can soldier forward. No, it's I'm going to honor the past, but continue to move forward. Yeah. And so it's written with joy, even if what's happening within the pages is very serious or sad. It's just a book I actually really look forward to reading every time it comes out.
Yeah.
And maybe it also has to do with the team. I really enjoy the team quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's supposed to be so much fun, by the way. Just to as a quick aside.
Yeah.
If you are getting, if you have the fortune to get an X-Men book.
Yeah.
Especially a non-mainstream X-Men book, not uncanny or adjectiveless X-Men.
Yes.
You get to build your team.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For
and that
sure.
must be so fun.
For sure. And obviously, a lot of this carried over for me, some of the characters from X-Force and some other teams as well. But when you have a team that's led by Forge, has Sage on it, Captain Britain's there, Ascani.
Oh, yes.
These are all people I know, and I've been spending a lot of time with on Krakoa. And then, we also toss in Surge and we throw in Tank. And I'm I don't know anything about Tank. And I love that no one really does. I think that's really great. And it's continuing to go. And every once in a while, we get a little hey, don't forget, we don't know what's going on with that.
No, yeah. Okay, cool, I love how the book, every other issue is by the way, what's up with Tank?
Yeah, exactly. No, I see a couple people saying maybe they had to maybe they can't buy all of the X books. I understand that. For me,
you've been saying that for 5 years, where it's I understand you can't buy all the X-Men books.
I do, and
there are fewer X-Men books than ever before.
There are, but I still understand that. But X-Force for me, if you were enjoying Krakoa, it feels the most in spirit with that. So if you were enjoying Krakoa, this is the book that continues the spirit of Krakoa while being totally existing within the modern world of X-Men right now.
But it also isn't just. It's not more Krakoa. It's not this team went to another island that was a baby of Krakoa.
It just makes me feel
the same kind of spirit,
joy.
Yeah.
From that time frame.
Yeah.
This book, we had a falling out in the last issues, which I'm trying. I realize not a lot of folks maybe have picked up on this. I don't want to spoil anything. No, yeah. But let's be honest, Forge has a goal. He's a mission that's been given to him, and he's I have to do this. So he gets a team together, and the fact is Forge's mind can't help but solve problems. And so in his team selection, he picked certain people because some part of that part of his abilities knew that he would possibly need
that one.
And that can cause some issues and some loss.
Yeah.
For sure. And we're dealing with the fallout of that. I like Sage from the previous run of X-Force, and I'm glad that Thorne has really been continuing
her
journey and her growth and understanding that it doesn't just happen overnight. And so she's been working towards who she is and balancing things and recognizing that it's not all just for the job. And I really appreciate that. But Forge is also dealing with the fact that he's no, I'm doing the right thing, but am I doing the right thing? So he builds this whole VR construct where he has Storm and Mystique there who are kind of the devil and angel on his shoulder, just working through what he's feeling right now.
And then he occasionally has sex with him, sure. It's virtual reality. It's okay.
It's fine. It's fine. Just
it's not Barkley or anything. But yes.
But at last we get a hint or a reveal. As
to, an actual villain of the book.
What has been going on? Because the villains have been here's a situation, we go to it, we have to solve this, and we got to move on because we have to go to the next issue, which I've really been enjoying. Because for me, that was great team building.
Yes.
Right. Here's some team building. Get to know them. Let's go. Right. But now it's there has been a thread, right? And for me, this felt in the best way possible. It was a little James Bond where they're just oh, when we look at all these events, we find that this person here, Sage uses Sage's abilities and pulls down data and like runs it through, and it's like this person
is at the epicenter, or at least on the fringe of every single thing we've done.
Exactly.
So I mean, even if they're not like the reason for it, we still need we got to ask her questions.
Yeah, exactly. But the reveal is that it's like, here's this person, they're playing like some sort of game in a sense. But the game isn't over. Forge thinks he's managed to get out of the VR that he's trapped in with Sage for a second, only to find that Captain Britain and Rachel are, in like some sort of
trance.
Yeah, well, I would say they were probably, because they often commune via telepathy.
Yeah,
with one another, but it looks like they're stuck there. I love Tank showing up like, how did I miss this?
Yeah.
I'm like, because you're flying the ship, man. You're flying the ship.
Because we were too busy worrying about who you are.
Right. But like, I guess what I really enjoy about this book is that while, yes, some of what they've been dealing with has been like, oh, we have to stop this, or like something horrible might happen to the world or whatever, it isn't truly it's not, the book isn't about like, oh, the world is going to end.
No,
like,
I'm not worried the world's going to end.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about their world.
It's like, here's this book. Here's what this team is facing. The odds are high.
Yeah.
But it's not like, they're not in that sense where like, why wouldn't other people be helping?
Right.
Like, no, this is X-Force is dealing with, X-Force knows about this. No one else really necessarily knows.
That's true. You're not going Wolverine's not going to pop in.
Well, maybe he would, but there would be a good reason.
He would be used. He
Thorne
would be a pawn.
Right. Thorne would give us a good reason for that to happen.
No, yeah.
And so that's why, like, for me, this book has been, I think, so successful, because it deals with like what is currently happening with X-Men, but also it doesn't make that the total focus of it. It's like, hi, I want to tell the story about this team and what they're doing.
There's no like reliance on popular X-Men. There's no moment where Forge has to go to the Alaska thing or the whatever the other thing is. I don't know where they are.
Like, this is just like this almost, it's not really, but for me, this one feels like this is going to age fairly well. Like, you could just read this X-Force book later on.
Yeah.
It would be tethered to like what came before it, as a lot of arcs are for X-Men.
Right.
But this one feels like it's doing a good enough job to be a little more evergreen in a sense. So I'm like, that's kind of cool. So I really like this book, and like, I really want to, say that, because I really have not been reading much X-Men. And I went from like reading all X-Men, doing like so much X-Men when it came to Krakoa, to being like, all right, well, I'm only reading a couple of X books right now. So X-Force for me is a big win. I love this book, and I really, really hope it has like a good run.
Yeah.
I want to say it's the run that the creative team wants.
I hope so too.
That's what I want.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Yeah, I hope so.
This does not feel like a Brevoort, like, you gotta get you gotta get Sage in there.
But like, I really liked the art too, and like,
no, I agree.
Marcus Toe was doing a great job. But this Toe also doing a really great job. And it's not like, sometimes when you see a book and like the artist leaves or isn't there, and then like they put another artist on there and they're not maybe the same caliber, you're like, does the company not have faith?
Right.
But like, the artist that is on this now,
just as good,
just different.
Just different. Though. I agree.
Great action sequences. That's what's nice about X-Force.
Yes.
You can have the quiet, you have the conversations, you got a little bit of like figuring out the mystery, but you have action because it's X-Force.
I agree.
Anyway, that's my pitch on X-Force. Go pick it up if you haven't been reading. If you're like, nah, I'm out for X-Men, but you like Krakoa, go check out X-Force. Yeah.
Well, I read Birds of Prey 16 from Kelly Thompson and Sammy Basri. Cassie is in an underground facility. She has been captured. They're experimenting on people, Amazonians. They're turning them into animal monsters or aggressive, animalistic versions of themselves. And the birds are torn with whether they should go in and try and rescue Cassie because she hasn't checked in with them, or let it, relying on her and trusting her. And so inevitably, Cassie does send out a message that says, I need your help. And they show up immediately because they have boom tube technology thanks to Barda. And they do. It's this is not a particularly sprawling epic. It is, it's characters. It's quiet, air duct secret, crawling moments. It's a consistently good series that I consistently enjoy on a regular basis.
Yay!
I also read Wolverine #4 from Saladin Ahmed and Martin Kokolo. Continuing with the adamantium themed trend, Wolverine is now trying to train the poor boy who is turned into a Wendigo to become a person. Like, I don't know if he's like hoping to break the curse or if he's just training him.
Is this going to become Beauty and the Beast?
Right? No, I hope not. But so what this is the reason why he's still here.
Yeah.
He's like in the snow so he can help this poor boy he didn't know before not be a Wendigo anymore, and it's gonna take years maybe. And I'm like, there's no way you're gonna be here for years. Wendigo's gonna die or he's gonna be cured. Either way, what doesn't matter. The point is, Constrictor, a classic Marvel villain with adamantium coils that blast out of his forearms that are very different from Omega Red's adamantium coils that blast out of his arms, is being transferred.
Snake themed.
Yes.
And Omega Red
is not. And Omega Red is Russia themed.
And he has red in his costume, and this guy doesn't.
No, he is.
So you can clearly see
they're completely different characters.
Two different characters.
I mean, they are, but also they have very similar attack methods.
Yeah.
If you were picking a character between the two of them on Marvel Rivals, you'd go Omega Red, because they both have the same power set. But one is more like fun and distinct than the other. That said, I do appreciate Constrictor. I didn't have his Secret Wars action figure, but I was interested in it because I was always really covetous of those. I really wanted more of the Secret Wars action figures.
Sure.
But Constrictor was a member of the Secret Wars action figure wave, despite the fact that he, like his fellow characters that also released under the Secret Wars banner, like Hobgoblin, was not in Secret Wars. Either way, the adamantium thing that's like infecting people like Cyber and Lady Deathstrike has affected Constrictor, and they attack Wolverine, and now Wolverine has been infected with it as well. Dun dun dun. Who knows what's going to happen? It's a fun book. I enjoy it. I was a little
maybe he's going to get bone claws.
I sure hope not. I really hope not. But it's fun. I enjoy it. I was kind of like hard on it in the beginning, but it's just a consistently fun series with like a very very simple mystery. Nothing really serious going on.
Right.
It's very, occasionally Wolverine will call Nightcrawler, and he only appeared in that one thing, and that's it.
Kurt.
Right, like, Kurt, I need you to go arrest Constrictor, but then Constrictor becomes gold, and now he can't. That's it. It's a fun book. I do enjoy it, despite the fact that I was like, I don't know if I like this book.
Fair.
Yeah.
I saw Marcus Toe is actually going to be back on issue 8 of X-Force, so that's exciting too. But
that's great.
Again, it's not like the art was
but
it's nice here.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know where I want to go next.
I think Santa.
Okay, let's do Batman Santa Claus Silent Night #2. Written by Jeff Parker with art by Lucas Kettner and Michelle Bandini. Each of these are titles, so this one's the holiday party.
Mm-hmm.
This is obviously the sequel to Batman Santa Claus Silent Night, the one they did last year.
Yeah, the first one.
This is it returns, right? We're hitting all the things in the first issue. We saw a
Dark Knight Returns homage.
Yes, it was great. But essentially certain specific members of the Justice League or a version of the Justice League are trapped in a magical, mythical space with towers and castles and fog and stuff. And when they try to leave, they can't. But don't. What?
Yeah. Oh no, just so we need a new team or something.
We need that, but really we need Damian to go and find Zatanna, and then Santa to show up, and while Zatanna's trying to figure out where they what I think password or word or location or name or something like that. The point is, it doesn't matter. We need to have Zatanna be like, I have to do this thing, but oh my gosh, the people of Gotham or the villains of Gotham have figured out that Batman's not here. Oh no. So Damian and Santa in this issue spring into action to go for one page essentially and defeat the nitrous gods. Or whatever, but I love this image of Santa landing on top of the villain. It's just okay, draw Batman and then erase all the things that make him Batman and make it Santa. Yes. And I'm here for it.
Right?
I don't care. I'm so here for Santa showing up and everyone's
kicking ass.
Yeah, everyone's like, okay. And so that's what happens. He kicks ass and takes names. And by that, I mean, he puts them to sleep.
Right. He does take names. He puts them on the naughty list.
Yeah. Well, but he uses his magic sand to put them. He's like, I've been dealing with this for years.
He has magic sand.
Well, think about it. If he came down the chimney and a kid was awake, he's like, oh, go to sleep.
Yeah, but is it dreams?
No.
Constantine's like, hey, give me that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a grain
Mate.
of that.
Mate,
give me that.
I'm gonna need that.
Yeah.
No, because he's Santa.
And Sai's like, oh.
Write that down. Santa. No. So anyway, we see that Batman and the others are being attacked, and we find out that one of the attackers is actually one of the monsters that we saw in the first Silent Night.
Oh, cool.
And he tells us a little bit about the mark that the guy that some of the Justice Leaguers bear on themselves. Now it has to do with this night. And yeah, we're gonna get more information about that later on. But because Zatanna's like, hey, we got to go to this party every around Christmas. Like one of the magical folks hosts a big party. It's invitation only, and I have an invitation, so we can go.
Oh,
right?
Cool.
But the problem is, it's her and Santa and Damien, and you can only bring a +1. But if you have a family member with you, it's okay. So Zatanna's like, we're gonna make you look like Batman, and then you can bring your son in.
Okay.
And so they go in, and it's a who's who of the
magic
DC
characters.
magic characters.
Yeah, Jason Blood's there, and
all sorts of folks are there. Gentleman Ghost, so on and so forth. Feel free. I think Detective Chip is there. All sorts of folks.
Good.
But we're there, of course, to talk to Jason Blood. We're dealing with any sort of knights. We need to talk to him.
Yes.
We get a little background on that. I'm not going to go into it.
No, it's fair.
But essentially, it's revealed that it's okay, so we're going to have to do XYZ, but how are we going to do that? But hey, you know what? First of all, that's not Batman. That's Santa. they're like, okay. To me, that is just a fun moment for them to put on airs that Batman's there. But the fact is, it's just let him in.
Right.
Okay, I love this image too.
Yeah,
I do. I really apparently want to see Batman with a beard.
Well, you actually need to go back in time, because while more current readers might be like, "Is this a Spider-Man Reign version of Batman?" Which is a hilarious observation to make.
Right.
There was a old school. There have been many different old Batman stories.
Sure.
From the olden days. I'm going to say specifically the 70s.
Yeah.
But there's a classic, as far as I'm concerned, cover that depicts Batman with a beard just like that, delivering presents, drawn by Neil Adams, and it's spectacular.
Wow! Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I'll look for that.
I love that. So Felix Faust is the one that calls Batman out, and then is they're like, well, you could obviously call forth the night and save our friends. And he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that though. Why would I help you?
What?
Why would I help you?
Okay.
He's like, this is great. He's like, I'm not gonna help you, and I'm gonna disappoint Santa. This is great. This is the best part I've ever had. Santa's like, that's cool. I know you have a wish. I know you want something. And he's like, and I'll make it happen for you.
Right.
And it's funny. It's if you're a Felix Faust fan, I'm sorry.
Right.
But that he wants to meet the Krampus.
Okay.
And so
yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Santa makes it happen. And
because Krampus is the first one, right?
Yep. And so Faust fanboys out, takes photos with him.
Oh shit.
Yeah, literally that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, look at him.
Right?
That's great.
Yeah. Batman number 239, by the way.
Yeah, throw it up there.
Look at that. There he is.
Yeah, that is a tiny homage to that.
Yeah.
With the teen wonder. He's not a boy anymore.
No.
He's a teen.
Yeah, we're establishing Robin's going to leave.
He is growing up.
He's growing up.
Happy holiday. There's only the one.
Just the one. Yeah. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Oh, man. And Batman Robin, A Christmas Past, the loneliest men in the world.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I love these covers, man. These were so cool.
Needless to say, Faust does summon the Night Forth, and it doesn't quite go the way they want it to.
Ah.
Uh-oh.
What?
Where are we going?
More book.
More book.
More issues are coming out.
It's fun. It's silly. And that's really what it is. Just don't forget, we are dealing with Santa here. It's a little silly.
Yes, it has to be.
It's a little campy. But I find it to be just good fun. I just did a reread of the first volume.
Yes.
And I just had fun.
Yeah, it's still fun.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
Well, that's nice.
And it looks good. Totally different artist from the last time.
Right.
Pair of artists. It's good. I might like this art better. I don't know.
Oh. Well, I read The Ultimates number 7. Of course, this is by Dennis Camp with art by Juan Frigeri. This is the fallout of the Ultimates' greatest failure at the hands of the Hulk. Iron Lad is presumed dead, and we watch the team kind of lick their wounds and disband. Sif and Thor are like, there's a big tree full of realms. Earth is one of them. We started the like revolution, but like we'll meet you one day. Like there will be a cool Hickman moment where we will arrive with an army of, you know, different realmed characters.
Okay.
But that's not happening now. We're leaving the Ultimates goodbye.
Okay.
Captain America and the Human Torch, but like, you know, the robot one,
mm-hmm.
are just kind of like getting acquainted with New York and being, you know, upset about like how things worked out. And, you know, She-Hulk wants to leave. She wants to be with her people. And Doom is kind of like, you can't leave. Hulk and company are waiting for you. They're going to ruin your day. And they'll interrogate your mind, and then you'll tell them where we are, and I can't let you do that. So it's just, you know, it's like a quiet moment where like the whole team needs to like get their bearings, and Hawkeye is the only one who's like, nope, I'm gonna just continue to, you know, raise hell.
Okay.
I'm like, good for you. But yeah, I enjoyed this issue actually more than the previous one, and it's just watching this team, watching this universe try and get some foothold on this crazy world,
mm-hmm.
which is still not like fully formed and is still kind of like nebulous. Like it's firmly established because the maker has been bouncing around through time, establishing this world as being separate from the 616 universe to the point where like it's unrecognizable.
Right.
But we don't know what this world really is outside of like the occasional glimpses we get.
Right.
And so this is cool. I'm like, yeah, that's fun. I kind of dig it. I liked it. The art's really fantastic. And it tells a story.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mean it's fantastic. The art's very good. But you know, it's more of the same.
Right.
It is also, of course, very, I don't want to say heavy-handed, but it is like Camp has something to say about America, the world currently.
Yes.
You know, and it's interesting to see Camp say it. You know, there isn't a lot of subtlety, but it is said without, you know, fumbling around in the dark. And for that, I applaud him. And I'm impressed that he's able to say, like, the fact that it is more overt means that it is going to be caught more quickly and easily by your editors and your corporate overlords.
Right.
But the fact that they're like letting you say these things, which should be, you know, indefensibly, you know, accepted, is good for them. Good for you. Good for this book.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Keep it up.
I understand.
All right. Ultimates. Keep it going. You know, please write more. That's my note.
All right. Fair.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
Of course. I got 2 more books. What about you?
I've got the one we both read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I got one more. So I'll do my other one.
Yay.
Couldn't help myself. I read Holiday Tales to Astonish. I figure I read Batman Santa.
Holiday why not throw a bone to the Marvel people?
Yeah. So this one is a set of 3 stories. And so we have one that's a Fantastic Four one that's written by Jerry Duggan with Phil Noto. Uncanny X-Men, written by Daniel Kibblesmith with art by
Pat O'Leaf.
Pat O'Leaf. I'm sorry. You need to understand the reason I'm having a hard time reading the names for these is because of the way that they did the credits page, which is adorable and cheeky, except for the fact that it says things like Jolly Jerry Duggan and Pat Tato Pancake O'Leaf. So I'm trying to like take out the fun from the name and just find the name within it. And the last one is The Spectacular Spider-Men, written by Jean Lewin Young with art by Dylan Burnett. So, you know, each of these is their own little story about various parts of the Marvel Universe around the holidays. The Spectacular Spider-Men one I thought was really, really cute and well done. And I don't know if Sal's had a chance to read it. But obviously it's Spider-Man, so it's the Peter Parker, Miles Morales one. It's really about Miles being like, you know, oh, I've got this plan, and like, or it's about New Year's resolutions. So
okay, so it's more like, you know, the holiday stories happen.
Yeah.
And then we do the New Year's.
And then there's the New Year's one, right?
Yeah, that's fun.
And the New Year's one is really cute because it's like Miles's plan is, or his like resolutions are to like get a jump on things, right? to always have a plan, to be in the moment, and to have the best New Year's Eve ever. And so we see that plan in action, and then we see the reality of that plan is like, goes to meet the girl's sick, she can't go. Like, oh, go by yourself. Oh, I don't want to go by, like, what? No, that's not going to work, right? And he sees all the things, like, you know, always have a plan. Oh, okay, well, yeah.
Yep.
Right. And so then he runs into Kenny, and Kenny is a barista and is like, oh, all the baristas like go and have like a party on New Year's. Why don't you just come?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't really know you, but come on.
Right.
So they go. And like while Miles is like trying to like recover, because he's like, wait, can we see the ball drop? They're like, doesn't matter. There's gonna be fireworks. So he's like learning you gotta be flexible, right? Like your thought was this, Miles, that's not what it's gonna be, right?
Yeah.
Spider-Man is fighting Hydra Man, so like, you know, there's a fight that breaks out. And Peter's like, hey, young man, maybe you should find a space to go and get changed or something. So Miles goes to do that, but like ends up having to like lock Kenny out of where he is. And so like you can see where this is going. The fight, they're successful, great, awesome. But at the end of the day, Miles goes to talk to Kenny, and it's just like, oh, hey, I saw your friend. He made it out. He's safe. He's just down the street. He's like, oh, you mean Miles? That guy's not my friend.
Right.
And Miles was like, I don't get it. Like, I did all the right things, but like, whatever. So Pete and he have a really nice like moment where Pete goes like, you know, the fact is, it's like, that's going to happen. That's what Spider-Man does. And like, inevitably, like, yeah, you're going to be put in these situations. But like, the fact is, like, I'm here, and I made a promise that when you came on the scene that like, I was going to see you for who you are, for what you do. And so I want you to know that I see you for what you're doing out there. And you are a good person, regardless of what others might see, because they don't know why you're doing these things. And I was like, that's nice.
Yeah.
I like that. Like, Peter's like, I never had someone like this.
Right.
Like, I had never had someone who like knew who I was and understood why I did things.
Right.
And I'm like, that's cute. It's just a really sweet little like New Year's like thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, adorable. The one before that, the X-Men one.
Yep. Festival of Fights.
Obviously, there's a fairly famous X-Men book about Kitty being at home during the holidays when everyone else goes out, and she's attacked during Hanukkah.
Yeah.
And she has to fight everybody off. This takes place during that same time period.
That's fun.
Right? So it's like showing the lead up to that fight and a little bit afterwards. And the fact is that like, she's like, all right, it's the first time I'm spending Hanukkah away from home. Everybody's getting ready for the holidays. Like, I don't have any present for anyone. What should I do? And Wolverine's like, don't worry about it. Who cares?
You should give a picture of yourself to them. That's what Wolverine does.
Well, it's not.
I think he gave Kurt that present. It's just a big old picture of himself.
Okay. Well, we get a nod to that then.
Yay.
But we see like it's really well done, because it's like Kurt, like, I was like, here, look, we found him like a menorah that we had. So she puts it up. She's like, I have one like this just at home. So then we see the candles, and we see how many nights like until like she's like, all right, I gotta go shopping. Oh, something happened. Like, it's like, oh no, arcade. Oh no, Doombot tried to take Storm so he'd marry her. Oh no, the Brood.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh no, like the Hellfire
Club.
Yeah. Like, as you just see the candles adding, and she's like, I haven't had a chance. But what she realizes that from like their adventures, like, she takes things from there. Like, you know, Storm turns like, you know, I think they're on the moon or wherever they are. I don't know where they are. And she like roasts the ground, and it makes like this blue glass. So Kitty takes some of it and makes like earrings out of it for her, right? And then like for Kurt, they're like the adventure is over with arcade, but she's like, oh, we should go into the photo booth. But then like Kurt has to like leave, and so like the photos of her and like him bamfing out.
Yeah.
So she gives him the photo. She's like, you bamped out. He's like, I think I should have a photo like this with everyone. And I was like,
okay.
So it's just cute. I thought it was really well done.
Oh, that's the creature that she runs away from.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I thought that was rude. I don't know why I thought that.
Because it's a big scary monster that looks like a xenomorph.
Right.
That this is like,
but like
so
in my
this
head,
this moment in Hanukkah is the issue.
I know, but like
cool.
I thought even in that issue it was
yeah.
But it's not.
Oh no, yeah, I know. No, trust me.
So anyway,
you're not alone.
But they reference and they tell you exactly what it is. They're like, Uncanny X-Men 143. Go check. It's a classic. Go check it out.
It is a classic because that's also when Days of Future Past happens.
Right. But like, I like this because they're just like, we're doing it during this time period.
Yeah. Well, that's why they got Pat O'Leaf to do it, because Pat O'Leaf used to draw Spectacular Spider-Girl and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm amazed. I haven't seen O'Leaf draw anything, and I love seeing it because like, dude still got it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really fun, right?
Yeah.
And she gives Wolverine a sword.
Oh.
And he's like, and she's like, not really for you. It's for me. She's like, you know, he's always like telling her she needs to train harder. So she's like, I thought maybe you could help me. And he's like, I feel useful.
Yeah, that's fun. I like that.
Right, really cute. And then what ended up actually being my favorite was the Fantastic Four story, and only because my favorite 3 panels in like a while happened in this book. Like this got me. So essentially the idea is that the Fantastic Four host a party every year for all the members of the Fantastic Four who have
been a member of the Fantastic Four.
If you've been a member of the Fantastic Four, you get to come to the party.
Yep.
Right. And
if you're Hank Pym, you get to go. Except you're dead. Wait, no, it's not Hank Pym. I'm sorry. I mean, if you're Scott Lang, you can come.
You get to go.
If you were Ghost Rider, you can come.
Yeah.
But only Danny.
Exactly. And so like we see that going on. We also see that Johnny and Ben have like a little tradition they do, and like this year it is true that Hanukkah and Christmas are aligning.
Yeah.
And so the comic reflects that, and so Johnny like uses his flame ability to light a big menorah in the sky, and I'm like, that's really cool. And like Ben's like, thanks.
Wow.
They go downstairs, and it turns out, oh no, something's going on. Like Reed's getting these strange readings, and Sue's like, all right, fine, we'll just bomb out really quick. We'll come right back. And what it is, it's like it's silly, and it's perfect because it's a little tiny comic and it's just meant to be silly, right? And Dr. Doom is stealing presents from people's homes, right? And they're like, it really seems like it's Dr. Doom, right? It's not. It's a Doom bot.
Yeah, it's always a Doom bot.
And it's like a Doom bot that was in a museum, and these people took it. Isn't this a great image, though? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. There's Dr. Doom being the Grinch.
Yep.
Yes. Thank you. I want to see these things. They took the Doom bot and they reprogrammed it to steal toys based off of credit card receipts that they stole or credit card records they stole, because they're looking for the hottest toys and then they're going to resell them on eBay.
Okay.
And like, it's such a modern, crappy thing to do.
Yes.
But I could see it happening.
Yeah.
And so they stop the Doom bot, they stop the guys, right? But they have all these presents that like are now not at the homes, right?
Yeah.
So they have technically all the list of where they came from, but like that's a lot of work, and they have this party. And that is where my favorite 3 panels in like comics in like quite a bit occurs, regardless of Johnny Storm's mustache. And it's just Johnny Storm's going like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? And he proceeds to try to say we guilt Spider-Man into doing it. And Sue is like, we reprogrammed the robot to return them all. Followed by him being like, okay, I'm hearing a lot of great ideas. I don't know why this hit me so I was like, that is so funny.
Yeah.
Like I like the letterer on this. Great job. 10 out of 10.
Like, how he's talking and then she talks over him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
guilt Spider-Man into doing it.
I'm like,
because it will work.
And he's there.
And he's already there.
Like he's at the party.
Peter, I don't know what we're gonna do. There's all these presents. There's this list.
But we gotta stay for the party, and like, I
remember when Uncle Ben got me presents.
I guess I could do it.
Chip Zdarsky swings in. I can do a funny joke about that. Uncle Ben. Yeah. So they do, and
they do, and they dress him up like Santa, and then Santa sees it, and he's like,
"What the holy hell is this?"
It's silly and dumb, but honestly, this comic was just all the right. This week was a lot of joyful comics for me.
It is, yeah,
a lot of joyful comics for me.
Like this throwback cover. It's very 90s.
Great. It's just like this just hit all the right levels. This is exactly what I wanted from these like little holiday vignettes, or just 3 fairly tight, like put together, well written, fun. Just here it is. It's just fun. It's light. It's just have a nice time.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this.
I
really wish we had more time to do GBU, because I'm like, I'd
love to do more of these. Yeah.
To do that. But yeah, that was, I just enjoyed myself.
Yeah,
but that freaking like I'm like, do you do that a lot?
Right?
Is that like
I do it all the time. Every time I don't want to do something, I find him.
Oh, Peter.
Oh my God. It's just such a hard time, man.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, well, okay. I mean, maybe I can help out.
Oh,
I wouldn't want to put that on you.
No,
it's not no imposition at all.
Oh,
yep.
Oh, okay. Just Johnny.
My work here is done. Literally. We read Absolute Superman #2 from Jason Aaron and Rafa Sandoval. Absolute Superman. The third best Absolute book out now.
That was what we said about
that's
issue
what we said
1.
about issue 1. Issue 2, we're getting real vibes of Grant Morrison's Superman, of classic Action Comics Superman, warrior of the people, grassroots kind of character. We're also getting indications about like what this book is kind of about. Our pal and occasional co-host Ethan had a real problem with the theme and ideas in this book.
Really? I missed that whole conversation.
Yeah, because because on Krypton, they of course have given themselves over to AI, specifically Brainiac, because back in the day when they like made Brainiac into a computer that is also artificial intelligence, they weren't thinking in terms of the way that people have completely ruined and misinterpreted the term AI now, which is to say it's a fancy word for just what we usually call an algorithm. And so with this, they're like, well, holy crap, like I've got this character, Brainiac. He could be a cautionary example about the dangers of using ChatGPT to do your homework for you.
Right.
And so in this book, you know, like it's commonplace, it's normed in Kryptonian society to simply trust in the Science Council and the AI to write your papers for you. And Cal, young Superman who remembers and lived on Krypton, wrote a paper, and he wrote it freehand, you know, with no AI, and he's punished for it, you know, because they're like, but you could be wrong. Like the collective wealth and knowledge of Kryptonians have been collected in this one place. Why don't you just use that? You know, use generative AI to write your papers for you. And it's like, no, there's something true and honest. And Ethan's like, what? Like that would be like something to say if there was a compliment to it today, but there isn't. Like there is no world where we do have that. Like, and I know what Aaron's doing.
Yes,
because Aaron is saying, and it's actually kind of frustrating and terrible.
Okay.
Because I think what Aaron is saying is that like it's slippery slope, but also like that like AI is here to stay, and it's about your reliance on it. The Kryptonians give themselves to AI. They put everything in AI's hands, and they lose themselves as a result of it. In this, Superman's outfit is AI.
Yeah. Okay. So hang on. I think Aaron is saying is not quite that. And I think we have not quite seen the like final product of what the actual problem is. I think we're just watching the lead up to it. I think what he's going to say is it's not necessarily the reliance or like the like cooperative nature of utilizing AI. It is about the fact that like obviously the AI for Krypton is going to lie. It's going to be incorrect.
Right.
And so it's the blind reliance on it.
Yes.
And so like I don't know if Cal writing the paper was the right way to show it.
No.
I feel like it should have been that he wrote it because he was like, no, but I wrote it because when I put it in, it gave me misinformation. Like, I know because I've seen it.
Yes.
This is actually what it is. Like, we're missing that component because I think that's what we're going to see here is that like the reason Cal and his suit work well is because Cal is like using it as a tool as opposed to just blindly following it.
Yeah.
And like, you know, being, you know,
Absolutely.
just like treating it as a god.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like that example doesn't quite hit the mark for me.
No.
Although you are starting to see it in a lot of like schools where they're like, how
they're like, well, we just throw up our hands.
Right. But it's like, I just feel like if he just added that like one extra little thing, but maybe that would have been hitting it over the head too hard. Cause it's like, that's why I was like, I think this is where you're going with this. I just didn't love that specific example.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Well, and the fact that like, you shouldn't.
Right. But I mean, we did see Lois do that.
Well, and they're doing that already. And of course, like
and it's doing it incorrectly.
And it is using Brainiac. Like the thing is that like the Lazarus company is using it. So like we know that the folly that they're running into it already.
Its poetic nature, it just didn't. It wasn't like quite the one for one that it should have been.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
No, and
like,
it's not going to be. It can't be.
No,
you know? But like it is like. But the book is about. You know, Aaron's like, I have something to say, and I
know he does.
I need to be able to say it with this because like people are going to have more eyes on it. Like Aaron could do an independent book about AI.
Yeah.
But also, how many iconic superheroes have an AI villain?
Right. No,
I can actually do that.
And I literally have no problem with him saying something. I really do not. It's just I know that Aaron can be a very like poetic writer.
Yes.
See his Conan. But so like maybe I scrutinize him a little bit more where I'm just like, I know.
I know you're better than this.
I know that you could have nailed this.
Exactly.
All you had to do was just,
Well, and I don't know if you could have nailed it as much as like, I don't know if, again, like it feels like it needs another pass.
A little bit. Although I did actually like this issue quite a bit. I like this more. Like a lot more.
I really like Lois in this.
I like Lois in this. This just felt tighter than the first issue for sure.
It does. No, it definitely, it has its,
but like, I didn't really
so
even think too much about that, the AI stuff, but like, I can see where Ethan's coming from.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. It's just like, and the Peacemakers thing, the Lazarus company is I don't know, nation building / controlling the narrative of their culture, and their peacemakers, and there's an idea here, but also like they look like Judge Dredd's,
right.
So it's like, are you making that reference, or is it just that if you are aware of Judge Dredd and you see Peacemaker, you draw the parallel? Like, maybe it's just the whole thing gets a little muddled,
right?
And it's not because of any one thing. It's a lot of things, and there are a lot of things happening in this. Watching Superman work, in conjunction with the suit was fun.
Yeah.
Even though I also find the idea of like incorporating AI into your system repugnant. So like, I'm not on board. Like, I appreciate it, but I think actually Aaron's whole like all or nothing with Krypton is better than the throwing up your hands and going, well, AI is here to stay, so I guess we just got to learn to live with it.
I think we just need the rest of the story, but like I said, like it's just interesting that if I'm right, then like all he had to do was just one other thing.
I know, yeah.
And like we are seeing it with his dad, obviously, because like, well, they didn't like, we're not getting an alert to that, so we don't think that you're correct. But it's like, it'd be nice to see it like failing across the board. But like it's, I think people often mistake when you and I critique things. I haven't had to do this in a while. I feel like people mistake when you and I critique things as saying that it's
we didn't understand
bad, we didn't understand it, or we didn't like it. I actually very much like enjoyed this comic. But as it is a form of art, it is absolutely our job. And like, I'm not just Sal and I, it is all of our jobs to question and talk about it as art. And so that's what we're doing right now. Yeah. And just because we point out something that maybe you don't agree with does not diminish your enjoyment of it.
No. But it also doesn't mean we're wrong. So,
but it doesn't mean like,
it doesn't mean you're wrong either.
Our opinion.
So, but I really like Ulysses Areola's coloring, because like it's such a heavy burden to deal with. Like, when they first started revealing art for the Absolute Superman, where it was like he had the glowy like gloves and boots, I was like, it's gonna be hard to keep doing, or at least it's gonna be hard to like I don't even know what I'm looking at. And now we see what it's, and I'm like, that's really cool, but it's visually striking and it looks great, as long as it's done well.
I think it's done really well. I was imagining how hard it must have been to discern where the cape was. So like
the cape is like,
but like it's incredible. Yeah. So like my hat off to the entire like artistic team on this, where you're like, okay, I need to indicate that this is cape, this is cape, this is cape, cape's going here. Like
then cape becomes like a thing where like you can put it on people.
And like I thought that was really cool. I like a lot of this being tethered in to Superman.
Yes.
I am hopeful that what we're gonna see, maybe like Aaron's point, isn't that like it's black and white when it comes to AI.
I think he's definitely saying that it isn't.
Yeah. But like we're just not quite there yet within the story. My thing about the Peacemakers I thought was interesting, because it's like one of them is seemingly saved by Superman.
Yes.
But then that ending thing, I was like, what are we doing with this?
I know, right?
That was so like, I was like, okay, maybe there's another level here we haven't quite peeled back.
Yeah.
I do want to throw out one other thing that I realized when I was reading this book.
What's that?
So come at me, folks. While I was reading this, my brain was suddenly like, wait a minute. Didn't Jason Aaron do an entire arc with Doctor Strange in which the antagonist was science? This isn't quite the same thing.
No.
But I literally couldn't help think about in Doctor Strange, when magic is being killed, it's being killed by like a scientist group, like a radical scientist group.
Yep, just like the bad guys or the downfall of Krypton. Yeah.
I'm like, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Exactly. So yeah, it's But
yeah, I like Lois in this a lot. I enjoy Lois going on her journey to potentially becoming a writer. Like
yeah.
being like,
oh no, I like that too. She's like, I really like doing this.
But like the fact that regardless of Lois, where she is, what she's doing for a living, also the fact that clearly she followed her father's pathway in this world, like into a military career. Interesting. But that she can't help but be like a firecracker.
Right.
Like she's still Lois Lane.
Exactly.
Like everyone else is like, oh gosh. And she's like, I'm gonna handcuff this guy.
Yeah.
Like, what is your plan?
Yeah, she had no plan. But she's also using it. Like she was, giving reports about where she was and what was going on, what she observed. Like it was all really, really good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Aaron's got Lois covered.
Yeah,
like
100%. 100%. No, because of the fact that like I didn't love the flow of the first issue, but again, could see that like
there's something there.
There's something there. The second issue, I think stronger flow. I'm hopeful that what we're seeing is an upward trend with this, where it's just gonna. They're just finding their stride.
Exactly.
For me, Wonder Woman and Batman hit the ground a little
quicker.
Got a little like it was a little tighter,
Well, it was more.
And I
direct.
I openly recognize that Wonder Woman is a book that's literally made for me.
Yes.
In a way, like it feels like you just went in my brain and pulled out what I wanted to see, and I'm like, oh, yes, thank you. But this book just feels like it got better with this issue. Like this issue is quite a bit better than the first one for me.
Yeah. I read Batman 155. This, of course, is written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Jorge Fornes, continuing the kind of like last arc of Chip Zdarsky on Batman before he leaves. This cover is kind of a big lie. But
did you buy the book?
Yeah. Well, of course, they tricked me. No, but I was already going to read it. It's just like, I'm like, I don't even remember there being the Court of Owls in this book. This cover suggests it's like a kind of sequel or merging of the Court of Owls arc from Snyder and Hush and stuff like that. It's like no, it's the only things I liked and remembered about this have nothing to do with either of those characters.
I really
the Court or Riddler.
I do love Riddler just being like, well,
yeah,
see you later. This is not for me.
Yeah, exactly. But Fornes crushed it. The art is fantastic. It's a gorgeous looking issue. It is phenomenal looking. It's and deliberately evocative of the imagery you'd get from like a Mazzucchelli from year one and stuff. I am sad to see him go. I believe Tony S. Daniel's doing the next issue, so it's like, oh, okay. But this one, the last issue was that Batman, Mayor Nakano's been murdered. The prime suspect. Batman was looking into it. He and Gordon were investigating the situation. Gordon's like, nah, and he pulls a gun on Batman, which makes Batman lose his mind. And then Gordon is arrested, and basically Gordon is the prime suspect for the murder of Mayor Nakano. So Gordon, if you don't recall, right now he's a private investigator. He created a firm with Harvey, but now Harvey's been worked into the GCPD again. So Harvey's back where he belongs, and the only one who isn't, like it and you could feel Zdarsky being like, I got something to say about like the direction of Batman and about where characters should be and what's going on here. So he's like, okay, Gordon is like, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to be commissioner again. I just want to be a commissioner again. Like, and he describes it in a fun way where he talks about like being addicted. Like he's like, it's like a drug. Like I should not want to be the commissioner of Gotham. And all I need and know how to be is that.
Right.
And I'm like, that's fun. Cause it also is about that. Like it's about this kind of like commentary on, the nature of these characters, how long they've been the same thing, the cyclical nature of comic books. Like there's a lot going on under the surface of this issue, particularly this specific issue. But like, during this, like when Nakano was alive, Nakano was like all over the place and he was making deals and stuff like that and seemingly inattentive to his wife and his family and stuff like that. And so Nakano's wife ends up hiring Gordon's firm to follow Nakano around because she thinks he's having an affair. So Gordon ends up tailing Nakano.
Oh, geez.
And finds that he is not having an affair. He is just a really neglectful man who's very driven by his job. And he ends up having an affair with Nakano's wife.
What?
So Gordon ends up sleeping with Nakano's wife and forcing the affair that she thought Nakano was having. And that's what Gordon does. Like at first I went, no, but then I went, yeah, Jim does this. Oh. Like it comes to like moral failings for Jim Gordon. Jim loves the ladies. And so Jim ends up having an affair with Nakano's wife. Nakano finds out. Nakano threatens Gordon. Gordon, like, and what's interesting is like Gordon is clearly like having like a midlife crisis. He's like, I'm not where I was. I was better off like before, and now I'm like old and I'm like practically unemployed, and this beautiful woman who like pays attention to me and is giving me attention, like, you know, like I'm trying to capture. So he's like yelling at Nakano, being like, you don't give her what she needs and stuff like that. And then Nakano tries to attack him, and Gordon pulls out a gun, and then he doesn't remember what happened after that. And so Gordon is like, I might have killed him, like, I don't know. So he's like, you know, Bullock is on it, and Bullock's like, I need, you know, we're pulling the best cops I can. I'm doing what I can. And Gordon's like, get Batman. Like, find Batman and get him on this. Like, we need to prove that I didn't do this or not. Like, but Batman will figure it out.
Yes.
And so Batman's like looking into it, and he's like, Jim, like, I think you did it. Why did you call me, you idiot? And Jim's like, we need to know. Like, we need to know if it's true or not. Like, that, it's just I was like, this is a really cool book. What the crap, Chip? I was not a fan of this previous run. Like, you know, and Jim is in this weird place. Like, Vandal Savage, enemy of the Justice League, is the commissioner of police in Gotham. You know what I mean? Like, it's really cool. Well, it's and Fornes gives it the gravity.
Yeah,
like, this could be goofy as hell. Like, if Tony S. Daniels drawn this issue, it would suck.
Sorry, Tony.
Yeah, Tony S. Daniel does not draw that kind of stuff well.
Okay,
you know,
fair.
I don't like Tony S. Daniel most of the time, but I appreciate that like Fornes gave it the kind of gravity that makes it like that reminds you more of Year One, or it reminds you more of like classic Batman. But Batman, like, in a morgue, talking to Jim, solving a crime that isn't super. There's no clowns. It feels so much more grounded, and it just gives me that like that thing I've been chasing from the Batman book for a long time. You know, there's no evil family that's taking over Gotham that actually secretly ran Gotham the entire time.
And that's why I think this is stronger for Chip, because it's about people.
Yep. Chip knows that. He knows what he's doing when it comes to this kind of stuff, and he's just nailing it. So it's just such a it's a great issue. I don't know if the arc's gonna go well. I don't know if the story's gonna go well. I don't remember there being the Court of Owls in this book. Which, like, you know,
like, because Jim having an affair blew my mind.
I know, and I couldn't wait to tell you. I was like, oh my god, and it's so earned, and it's so out of left field. You're like, no, Jim, but also, yeah, you would do that, you idiot.
Is she like?
Oh, she's like, we're gonna run away together. Like, you and I, Jim and I, are gonna we're gonna run away to Metropolis, and I'm like, oh, honey. You have no idea.
Yeah, go become the commissioner of Metropolis. You'll have nothing to do.
Yeah, there's no freaking way. First of all, there's no way they would let her, or they would let him. But yeah, they'd be like, okay, so let's take a look at your credentials here. Yeah, you're a huge failure. Because we have Intergang and Darkseid and stuff. You have a clown, and I see a Penguin Man who is a legitimate businessman that owns multiple properties in your city. Like, are you kidding?
Let me just point it out there that if I were Gordon in that situation, I would be like, you know what? Let's switch.
Right.
You go deal with the Joker.
I would love to see that.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You think he's a clown?
Yeah.
Be my guest.
Right. Yeah. I would love that. I would love to see that. Honestly, I just like to see Gordon in charge of Special Crimes Unit for like Maggie Sawyer and stuff. But yeah, that'd be fun.
How come Jim doesn't just go to Bloodhaven?
Yeah.
And Nightwing's like, Jim, what are you doing?
Jim, what are you doing? I just figured it'd be more successful over here.
Can I help?
Yeah. But I love I wanted that, and it was just such a really cool moment. But I was like, you're not leaving for Metropolis, honey. You don't have any idea. Like, you and Jim will pack your bags, and then Jim will not go.
Right.
or he will never be able to sleep while he's in Metropolis. It's like, it's too bright, it's too colorful. I can't do it.
Yeah.
But I would love to see that. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Batman 155 nailed it. Well done, Chip. Bravo.
Yeah.
Please write more. That's my note. But yeah, man, I like that. Those were great books. So let's jump into some super chats, I suppose. And then we'll talk about Creature Commandos. Here we go. Kings of New York, or King of New York, I should say. ComicPop woo to you as well. Can't be here for the show today as I have exams next 2 weeks. See you guys on the rerun. Well,
good luck on exams. You got this.
You got this. Keep it up.
Study, but don't overstudy.
That's right.
Do not overstudy.
Tea Time 480. Hey, ComicPapa. What up?
He always gets paid.
Alexandre Deben Brassard. I just saw the shorts previewing the episode on Sinner Take All, or Takes All.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Please keep doing 90s Venom minis. They're my favorite episodes.
Hey.
I love doing them, but like I wonder if it's diminishing returns. Like I don't know if the audience wants us to do them, but I was like, listen, She-Venom, the audience might show up. You know, a Venom with boobs? Hell yeah. But like Venom teaming up with the Mace, Venom teaming up with Vengeance. I don't know. I tried reading Venom, like the Venom Vengeance crossover.
Yeah.
It is so horrible and so unreadable. I was like, I don't even know what's happening. I just couldn't keep it together.
Right.
But yes, you reminded me because I actually did want to do it. I just couldn't remember that it was called that. I always called it The Bride of Venom, which would have sold better.
Right.
Sinner Takes All. What does that even mean?
Yeah,
the Sin Eater is the
yeah.
bad guy. But yes, that is the episode that comes out this week. Tom Waiting, thanks a lot. Also, speaking of hated comic runs, is there a slightest chance we'll ever get Devin Grayson's Nightwing covered? Because if even part of what I've heard about that run is true, I don't know. I feel like if we do Nightwing, like I almost did the Taylor's run like early, like a year or two ago, but I chose instead. I was like, no, I got to do like the original.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we catch it, if it does well, then we can just add that to the roster of like runs we could do. It's just like no more Nightwing. We'll just check in with Nightwing once in a while. But I wouldn't hold my breath.
Okay.
Bustin' Anya says some support on an amazing channel. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Tom Waiting also, have you seen the new Frank Miller documentary? Love you through your thoughts. No, but I do remember it being made, and I remember what they like. I remember them working on it. But no, I did not see it.
Yeah.
Adam Fraser says, just wanted to say thanks for uploading these shows to Spotify. I love listening to you guys when I'm out delivering the mail. Makes my day easier.
Wow.
Nice. Well, thank you for your service, man. I appreciate it.
Male person.
That's
dope.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were making a Frank Miller documentary.
Yeah, no, they've been making it for years. And I actually met the director.
That's right.
At Scottober.
Yes.
At the Amazon.
You remember you telling me about that now.
That was,
okay.
Yeah, they've been working on that. They've been like trying to distribute that documentary for a long time. So
it seems like I don't know. It's either gonna be super interesting or very boring.
Yes.
I don't know. Because it depends. With the documentary, it's always based on the documentarian.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
So I don't know. Ooh.
Yeah. Typical Spider says, ComicPop woo to you as well. Chris Evans is now rumored to return for Doomsday. It's not what I wanted nor expected, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't intrigued by a Downey Doom and possible Hydra Cap Evans.
Yeah.
The last thing I want is Hydra Cap, but I think the closest thing you're going to get is the reference we got in Endgame, which was perfect. Worked so well as like a kind of wink and a nod, but also as a like, look at Cap learning and growing. I think we're going to get Cap. I think it's just going to be Cap.
Yeah.
And I think I expected it. I don't want to see him in Doomsday because that means that he'll probably die.
Right.
But we'll see. But yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy and hopefully good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, like if we're going in the multiverse, like we could do like it might go so far as to be like, oh, it's not our Cap. This is an Earth where Fox and Marvel always had a thing. So here's a flashback to an Earth where it's like 1942 and it's Wolverine and Cap and they're doing a mission and then they get sucked into something.
Right.
But either way, that's what I'm expecting. Tom, are you going to do a Red Hulk on back issues? People seem to have a really despised Jeff Loeb's run. People loved it when it came out. I remember people being really, really excited about it. And I did not hate it, but I also, that was one of those Ed McGuinness books where I'm like, this is the tone.
Right.
McGuinness belongs on a Hulk book.
Okay.
Written by Jeff Loeb.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been meaning to do a Red Hulk book forever. I really should have done one before that movie came out.
Probably.
He also says, one of my favorite movies, Hamlet 2, is on Max. Everyone should see it. Okie dokie. Matt Fisher. Hello, Bad. Hello, Cat. Oh, thank you. Just watch some old back issues episodes and a few questions for you. Who is Danny and will she be returning to the couch? Will Tiffany ever do Super Heavy? And will Ethan ever like Bloodlines? Well, I don't think there's any reason for Ethan to revisit Bloodlines. So there's no way he's going to like it.
Yeah.
Definitely Tiffany should do a Super Heavy. I'd love to see that on the show.
Because
you liked that run when it came out?
I liked it when it came out. I was not a person who adopted it later on. I was like, well, it's happening. I'm like, this is good.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah.
I like Gordon as that.
I know. And
that
you were like, hey, this is a great book. And people were like, boo. And you're like, whoa.
Okay,
whoa.
I didn't realize that was my hot take, but that was my hot take.
Yeah.
And then Tom King's Batman came out. And everyone was like, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Super heavy. I'm like,
that's right. And Danny's our mod, I guess. I don't really call her that.
Yeah, we don't call her that.
We don't call her that. Arduit says, ComicPop Woo, sending love to all your way. Don't think it got answered last time. Maybe I missed it. Recommendations for good Bullock stories. Mariana Quanzamus. I don't really know. There's, I don't have any. Bullock has always, for me, been like less than a supporting character. Bullock never really became prominent until the cartoon.
I was gonna say, there's like no way the cartoon didn't do the heavy lift.
The
on
cartoon
his character.
elevated Bullock's character to having like a name. Bullock was always in the books. When I say always, I mean he's been in the books for probably like 35, 40 years.
100%. Yeah,
but the cartoon is what made
like,
Bullock
like solidified. Like it's like for a lot of people, like who he is. I think like in like a few moments.
Yeah, it'd be like looking for like good Mr. Freeze comics before the cartoon show. It's one of those things. The cartoon show brought, and for that matter, obviously there's a bullet for Bullock is a great episode of the animated series.
Right.
And so forth. But yeah, it's the cartoon that for me. Typical Spider. If Peter was still with Mary Jane, I would be so much more interested in seeing them have to take in a young Dylan Brock. That's an interesting story. As long as it's not permanent, I'd be down for that. Like, I like the idea of like Pete and Mary Jane being like, oh crap, we got to deal with this kid. Yeah. And it's the kid of Venom.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That's actually kind of interesting.
Joe Kelly is only credited for one more issue of this 8 Deaths of Spider-Man run. That's unfortunate. Joe Kelly's writing the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man. Like, that's his idea. That's his story. If he's not credited for writing all 8 parts of the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man, it's an oversight. He's writing them. There's no one else writing the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man.
Okay.
Matt Fisher says, yeah, I know. Chris should be the human Jarvis. Have you thought of cosplaying as Dr. and Amy Pond? Will you be getting McFarlane Red Swamp Thing figure? You ever played Justice League Task Force? Love you, Dr. Zayas. I love you, Dr. Zayas. Thank you. No, and no. I never got Justice League Task Force. It was hard to get when I was a kid.
No, it's a game.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I know. It's a Justice League fighting game that also they made a comic book.
I don't know why I thought no, that's Suicide Squad. Never mind. Wow, I made Suicide Squad.
Oh God. Yeah, that AAA selling title.
Oof.
No, they it's terrible, by the way. Justice League Task Force sucks. It is hard to play. I did play it. I played a ROM of it.
Yeah.
But I never got it, and I would have played the shit out of it if I had access to it.
Right.
One of those in the same time, Death and Return of Superman. I love that one.
Yeah.
But thank you. Arduit, Beyond Venom, maybe being Paul. Did anyone want a non-Brock Venom? I thought most fans like Eddie and Dylan. I guess I'm confused. It's funny because like people when they suggested other people for Venom, like when Matt Gargan became Venom.
Yeah.
People were like, boo. But after Matt Gargan got like the Orca outfit, like after they changed Venom, basically after Matt Gargan was established as Venom, people became very complacent and comfortable and normalized with someone else being Venom, particularly Gargan. After that, because someone else had been Venom for a while, like a year or two, people got more comfortable with other people being Venom until Donny Cates came along and was like, there is one guy who should be Venom, and came in and brought Eddie back, but needed to elevate Eddie's character because Eddie had become so kind of like marginalized, or at the very least, his one-dimensionality became so apparent that you could kill him multiple times throughout his series. Like you could kill him in the was it Back in Black? I think he was in a coma. You could kill him in Marvel Knight's Spider-Man. You could kill him in the like John Romita Jr. drawn, I think it was Howard Mackie run. Like that was the period where they were like, oh, the suit, by the way, it like sucks out your like body. Like it makes you, gives you cancer and stuff. So like Eddie's dying. Like you could kill off Eddie or threaten to kill off Eddie like 8 ways from Sunday and nobody would bat an eye. When you realize that, you go, oh, I need to do something about Eddie Brock's character. Like I need to elevate him and give him more. And so Cates was like, in order for me to make Eddie Venom and make people buy it, I got to change Eddie, or at least elevate him. I got a God Country Eddie, which he does. And so as a result, people are much more comfortable with Eddie being Venom, and older fans can be like, yay, Eddie!
Right.
But Alex Sanchez, I'm much more excited for his AI's Absolute Green Lantern than his Venom, and Jeff Lemire's Flash, for that matter. Comics are awesome. I agree, Alex, and I can't wait to see Green Lantern and Flash, for that matter. They're going to be great.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Jamzilla, I'm surprised by how many characters I dislike, and the Spidey books keep popping up and also sticking around. Well, I hope people enjoy them at the very least. Have a nice day, you guys. I don't think people enjoy them. I think people expect, I think there are a lot of readers who take the books for granted. Like, again, the majority of comic readers don't go to the internet and talk about them. They just read them. They talk about them with their peers, with retailers, or no one. And so when things happen, I remember being a kid and things happening that were clearly editorial mandated that I didn't know at the time because I didn't pay attention to that stuff.
Right.
And I think a lot of readers, the majority of comic readers, don't meta read, and so as a result, they take it at face value. They're like, oh, this is Paul, new character, all right, and Paul sucks, I guess. Paul's got people have their own opinions about Paul that have nothing to do with the online discourse. So I think people do like them, but I also critically believe these characters have very little to like. There's not a lot there, so I'm not as I suspect that it's not like it used to be. Like when a character like Glory Grant was invented, or even Randy Robertson, a character that I really don't regard. I can't deny they have personalities, but I love Glory. I think Glory immediately had a personality when she first appeared. Randy, I was like, Randy? All right. But, I feel like in this case, there's not enough there for people to like Paul. What is there to like? Name his pros and cons, It's tough. Because at the end of the day, even characters that seem one-dimensional or don't have much to offer, like Nick Katzenberg, really pulling old characters here. When it comes to good and bad, it doesn't necessarily matter, because it's not like you're not going to get a Randy Robertson book, or a Nick Katzenberg book.
Yes,
but what do they make? What effect do they have on the main character? Nick Katzenberg's a fun character because he drives Peter crazy. He is just one of those. He's just a big jerk,
right?
And there are some people who don't like you,
and
are going to be a big jerk. And Peter doesn't have a lot of those that aren't also super villains. And that's fun too, because then Peter Parker is a supervillain for a minute. And so even though Nick Katzenberg was a one-dimensional character, it worked. Made it for Hey Silent Tiffany. This was the McKay-verse. If this was the McKay-verse, we all know Jed would have made 8-Ball into Venom. By the way, is everyone excited for Aquaman by Adams and Timms? I think so. I think people should be very much excited about it. I know that Josh and I, or at least Josh, pimped the hell out of it. Said, hey, listen, you got to pre-order the Aquaman book. I know Adams loves Aquaman. I think it's going to be fantastic. So I hope people enjoy it. But yes, 8-Ball, or at the very least, the Orb. No, that was Aaron. Aaron loved the Orb. McKay likes 8-Ball.
He loves to like 8-Ball. 8-Ball's doing a great job.
Oh yeah, he's doing fine. He doesn't need to be Venom. He's in the Moon Knight books.
The McKay-verse coming up just made me realize I haven't read a Doctor Strange book in quite a while now.
Well, there hasn't been one.
I know, and I'm like, am I okay with this? And I'm like, you know what? Marvel Rivals came out, and I can play Doctor Strange. That's fine.
Exactly.
It's fine.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm enjoying it, but I'm also I'm looking forward to better balances, but I recognize the fact that this is a free game. And so I don't know how this is going to work. I actually really miss being able to use the stupid in-game currency to buy costumes for that game.
Yeah.
Now it's all, I'm like, whatever. I'm just playing it right now. But there's not a super great balance right now for some characters. But I'm still, I like it. And it's fun, hearing the different conversations between characters who know each other,
right?
And because of the fact that this is a multiverse style game,
right?
You never know what sort of reference you're going to get, because that Magneto might be from this type of universe, and that Psylocke,
is that how it works?
I believe so.
Oh, that's weird.
And that's why I think the Psylocke that we get might actually be the Peach Momoko one. You know what I mean? So it's Magneto references Krakoa, but that may not be, where some of the other mutants are from. It's interesting.
Exactly.
I think that's how they're working it. I actually haven't read all of the lore because there's a lot of lore in it.
You're right. That's weird. I did not expect that.
I appreciate it. There's a lot. I'm like, okay, I just want to play right now, so I'm not gonna. I'm not going to read all this.
Yeah. So yeah, where were we? Oh, yes, Derpiest to Derps. Hey guys, curious if you've seen Marvel Rivals. We just talked about it. They have some fun alternate costumes, but I'm baffled by Peter's being Chasm.
You. Literally, I pulled that up because like I had the opportunity to play the alpha, I had the opportunity to play the beta, and then we got this. That came out of nowhere for me. That was not in either of those two versions of the game. So we were just going through, and I was like, oh, let's look at the costumes. So we looked at all the new characters and what their options were. Obviously, what I do appreciate is, one, they're doing a mixture of classic costumes from comic books, or they're doing comic book costumes plus their own that they're creating. But when they reference a costume from a comic, it tells you where it came from.
Where it came from. Well, what issue?
If someone's like, oh, that's interesting, I want to learn more about that, you can. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I pull up Spider-Man and I'm like, here we go. What? Like, it was like a record scratch hard stop.
Yeah. That's so funny.
I'm like, out of all.
Yeah, I think that's in purpose. It's rage bait.
All the costumes you could have.
Yeah.
I
Chasm's an action figure too.
I don't think it's rage bait. I think they're like, no one else has done Chasm yet.
Well, that's true.
We're the first place games have not done that. We're doing Chasm.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I think that I also think that like the Chasm thing is like, get Chasms out there. Like, let's see Chasm.
Get the Chasms out there. Let's get Chasm
and
working.
Also make Chasm free.
It's not free. You have to pay for it.
With real money?
Or the in-game currency, but you can pay for the in-game currency. So,
because I thought it was like, no, get people Chasms.
No, Chasm is not free.
So they have to force you to buy like better costumes.
Yeah. No.
Interesting.
No.
Where were we?
Freaking
yeah, I know. Chocobo Kid, Sal's looking quite dapper and festive. Happiest of holidays to ComicPop and the Poppers. Ho ho ho! Thank you very much.
I didn't like think about the fact that you were looking festive, and I mean,
it's cold weather.
Showed up in my Spider-Man hoodie.
I love it. No, it's awesome. I'm wearing this because it's cold weather.
Wait, hang on. Go back. Let me see. I can make it so that look, you can see Spider-Man just peeking out.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm also in the show.
Yeah,
Ray Umbo says, I got the news. I just got into my dream physical therapy school. During the long school days and study sessions, ComicPop was there. So thank you, ComicPop.
Gosh, congratulations,
Ray Umbo. That's friggin' dope.
That's incredible. Good luck.
Thrilled for you, man. That's awesome.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, let us know how it's going.
Yeah.
Thorn Identity says, never censor your takes. There's no crying in baseball. There's no crying in baseball. Thanks, boss. Hulkzilla, you guys weren't late, nor were you early. You arrived precisely when you meant to. Also, a little shout out to Doug. I know. Thanks, Doug. He is a true wizard. Typical Spider, have you checked out Superman and Lois? It's worth watching. The series finale is great, and overall, it is one of my favorite iterations of the character. Just a wonderful addition to the myth of Superman. I've heard wonderful things. I don't have the patience to watch TV, but I've heard wonderful things, and I do not begrudge that show for what it is. So yes, Creature Commandos. We saw it. We watched the first 2 episodes from James Gunn. So I'm not going to get into the story. It doesn't matter. The point is that it's basically Suicide Squad with more D-list characters. What do you think, Tiffany, of this essentially there have been multiple projects coming out from like the James Gunn DC studios. We've gotten Penguin. We've gotten the Chris Reeve Superman documentary.
Yes.
This and Superman's Coming.
Yeah.
So out of I haven't seen the documentary. I watched a little bit of Penguin, which I recommend, which I recognize is peak. And also, all these shows and movies have freshness ratings. Like they are successful.
They are successful.
At least critically.
They're a success.
And I can say the Creature Commandos is also successful. It is a good show that I enjoy with fun characters. I have concerns.
You didn't actually ask me a question.
So go ahead.
What's the question?
Oh, the question is how'd you like it?
Oh, okay. I actually had a colleague mention, they're like, did you watch this? And I was like, I did. And they were like, I didn't yet. But they were like, I'm a little worried about where this is all going with James Gunn. I was like, well, I'm not. But he was like, what did you think of it? And I was like, okay. So admittedly, if you like James Gunn stuff, that's just what this is. This is very much a
James Gunn movie.
A James Gunn thing, right? Yeah. Like obviously Guardians doesn't take the swings or like the
it's not as
R rating that other
lean
projects
into the rating.
Yeah, but like the snappiness of the dialogue, the
found family nature of the characters. They're all misfits. They don't fit anywhere.
They have everybody has a distinct personality. There's friction between some, but at the end of the day, they all really care about one another. Presumably, we haven't seen that just yet.
Right.
And the fact is, I don't care. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked the characters. I was a little annoyed about the fact that like the Bride has done Elsa Bloodstone, in my opinion, better than Marvel's like managed to do. Not that I didn't like what they did in Werewolf by Night, but I'm like, she could have a show.
Yeah. I know.
Like there she was. It's not the same character at all, but like a snarky British lady.
Yes.
I'm like, okay.
With a coat.
Yeah,
I agree. I liked it. I think everybody's great. Obviously, there were some standouts. I think, like, the other thing about this is that they deliberately cast so that they could have counterparts in the live action universe. So it's like David Harbour being Frankenstein. Yep, he's gonna be, physically appearing if they are able to make more movies.
Yes.
But Indira Varma playing the Bride of Frankenstein, like, she looks like her counterpart, so she could physically be in these movies as well. Frank Grillo, etc. They're all doing a good job, despite my criticisms of stunt casting animated projects, when I'm like, there are oceans of incredibly talented voice actors whose job is to play a myriad amount of fun characters who maybe don't have the face for prime time, but belong in animation and could be in a film or high profile TV show. But I think everybody really does a nice job. It doesn't feel like the stunt casting that I don't like in animation, in mainstream superhero animation, certainly.
Fair.
But I like that a lot. That was really cool. So everybody really nailed it. I'm worried because this is Guardians of the Galaxy or Peacemaker. This is Suicide Squad again. It's a group of people who are commanded by Amanda Waller to accomplish a task that she doesn't expect them to survive. That's just Suicide Squad. Is Creature Commandos just Suicide Squad? Now, if you read Creature Commandos, no. But also, is Creature Commandos a franchise you could actually send to the audience out there without Suicide Squadding them? I don't know. But I also know that if you had told me in 1999 or 2006 that Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be a film franchise, I'd be like, well, I'm not going to bet on that.
Right.
So I understand and appreciate how Herculean it is to take a never heard of franchise by the popular zeitgeist and turn it into a lunchbox that children want and not just, people get because it's on sale. That's amazing. Congratulations. You've done it. But you've done it. Now do something else, or do something else with that kind of, take your magic and do this. Superman is going to have to be that.
Yes.
James Gunn wrote and directed the Superman movie. I've seen what James Gunn wrote and directed. He made Super. He made Creature Commandos. He made Peacemaker. He made Guardians. They're all the same. Superman is not any of those things. Now, Superman also is going to have a cavalcade of characters. It's going to have Guy Gardner. It's going to have the Engineer. It's going to have Hawkgirl. It's going to have Supergirl. It's going to have all these different characters. I don't see Superman being in that group like this. That Superman in that group is called the Justice League. And I don't see the Justice League behaving, acting, or talking like Creature Commandos or Suicide Squad or Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't also see James Gunn making a Justice League movie. But he is putting the Justice League in the Superman movie. And I only know James Gunn to make these kind of team movies or stories. So I'm a little worried.
I understand your concern.
And I'm not worried in a way where I'm like, James Gunn is the devil and # release some other cut. I'm saying it made me go that was a lot of fun. It was exactly as much fun as the Suicide Squad. It was exactly as much fun as Guardians. It was exactly as much fun as as a James Gunn
I
joint.
think everything that you said is valid.
Right.
100%. I'm going to come from a different point. I'm going to embody hope. What the S stands for.
Yeah.
And say that for Gunn, as much as he likes Creature Commandos, because we know that the reason this is happening because he's a fan of Creature Commandos, he enjoyed reading it. I think he has he reveres Superman.
Yeah.
And so I think for him, he's like, this is just a team thing. It doesn't matter. It's just fun and it's fine. And I want to create this world where like Superman has to deal with maybe these people sometimes. But I think his reverence for Superman will
change it.
Will make Superman be like Superman.
Right. Oh no, I don't expect Superman to act like Flag. But it's just I'm like, can you do a book or a movie about one guy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. I mean, I like to think that he can do it.
Yes.
Absolutely. I have to assume though that when it comes to more of like these teams of characters who no one knows, maybe that's kind of what he leans into a little bit, because Guardians was that for like a lot of moviegoers. They were characters they'd never seen before. They were characters they'd never heard of before. When it came to Suicide Squad and like Peacemaker, I mean, not that he directed Peacemaker.
No, he directed the first episode, but
right.
He
but
was
like
the showrunner,
it's you know,
it's his baby.
Right. Again, you're dealing with characters that most people who are just not reading comics but part of that popular zeitgeist of the comic book world, they don't know those characters.
Right.
So like I have to do something memorable and fun with them.
Yes.
And I feel like that's what he's doing here with Superman and the Justice League.
He
doesn't have to do that.
That's
so
true.
I like to think he's going to pull that back, because he's like, I don't need to rely on that, because you're in, you know who these people are.
Right.
So let's just tell their story.
Yeah. And I guess in my case, I'm kind of concerned because I'm like, they're not in. First of all, there's an active contingent that is that's working against you.
Right.
That is actively rooting against you.
Well,
because they don't like or understand who Superman is.
I think he's thinking more of the average movie-going audience, not the people who take to social media.
Right.
Like I think he's probably going to worry about making a movie for that.
I certainly hope so. But you know, there's also the other concern, which is that like Superman is largely regarded as like a boring character who isn't relatable, which is like why they are quicker to make, you know, movies about Superman pastiches or criticisms or interpretations than like they made a Watchmen movie, you know. But I like this show.
So let's talk about the show though. Like overall, I like the show. The music choices are interesting. It's very James Gunn.
It's very good James Gunn, but also very
different.
They, you know, the bands were very different.
Yes.
And I appreciated that like this has fewer like egregious needle drops than Guardians 3 did. Guardians 3 I loved. And my only criticism of it was there were way too many needle drops, and the needle drops were not nearly as deep cut as James Gunn is capable of.
Oh, sure.
So I was like, and I know, and it's like, look, if the perfect song is a song everybody knows, choose that song. But also typically that song is too expensive, so that's why we don't do that. But like my real problem with Guardians 3 was I was like, every 3 minutes there was another song, and I'm like, that's not always how it works. But with this, it wasn't that, and the songs were also not deliberately, you know, it wasn't like half the budget is the animation, the other half is just songs I want to hear.
Right.
But the songs were great too, and it worked really well. I think it was a good blend.
Yeah.
I was down.
Overall, I like the art style, the designs of the characters here, especially in this like promo art that you've pulled up. Like it gives like a meeting of animation and comics.
Yep.
You know, reliance on like heavy shadows and just the styling of them. It is very modern animation style. But I felt like the designs of the characters worked really, really well when we came to the action sequences, because the animation overall was like, all right, cool, whatever, we're doing what we need. But when they came to action sequences, like fight sequences, like clearly the animators were told to spend more time on that.
Yes.
And they look I thought they looked good.
They do.
I enjoyed those quite a bit.
I agree. No, I feel the same way.
You know, like I'm enjoying getting to know the characters. I hate the Weasel.
Yeah, me too.
I don't like him.
I'm
not meant to.
Yes. But I'm like, I'm not here for, you know, like I love Animal and the Electric Mayhem, but I'm not here for an animal movie. And same with Weasel, you know?
Sure. Yeah. Obviously there are a few actors who are in this who have a little more experience doing voice acting.
Yep.
I'm looking at you, Alan Tudyk.
Yes.
You know, so like obviously he brings a different level of energy, but overall, like the story itself is less about what's happening in the story and more of a character driven first 2 episodes. I feel like, like, yes, we got to introduce you to these characters. Got a backdrop. There's a princess. We're going to deal with that. And like, sure. But like, really, what is this here for? It's to show who these characters are, and so that we get a feel for them.
Exactly.
But we'll see how it goes. I mean, obviously I don't think that Gunn is not trying to make us think Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Rick Flag is on this.
Yeah.
It's not the same Rick Flag.
It's Task Force M. Like, I understand.
But you know what I mean?
Is.
Like, I don't think, like, he's not hiding it.
No.
So.
No, it's just, but like.
I know.
But another one?
I get it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it was fun. And I am honestly looking forward to more of it.
Right.
And I like animation.
Yeah.
I like animated shows. I think they're really fun. And I like when it is not treated like just a kid's show.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Good stuff.
Right.
For me, I thought it was
yeah, I dug it. And I'm looking forward to more. And I'd be down to see these characters appear in live action, but I'd also be down for more. I was also kind of like, boy, if Creature Commandos was a movie, I'd be like way more excited. But like the fact that it was a show, I was very exciid anyway, and I was pulled in. Same with like that Star Wars Skeleton Crew thing. Like it was like this kid's live action show that Disney has for Star Wars. And I was like, oh, I saw a trailer for it. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. And then I saw it was a show. I'm like, oh, I'll never watch that. Like literally, I was like, if you give me 90 minutes, I'll watch that. I'll try that out. But like, no, I'm not, let's get sucked into this.
If it was all out, you might.
No.
There
are shows that are all out that I haven't watched. Because I'm like, I don't have, no. But yeah, I dug it. And I'm looking forward to more.
Right.
There are a few more super chats, and then we'll get into
Fantastic. Let's do. Oh, it's your book of the week.
Oh yeah, my book of the week, man. That's tough. I think I'm gonna have to give it to Batman 155. I was so excited about that book. I was just like, wow, you really nailed it! Yay! It was everything I want in a Batman book.
That's very fair. Superman, Absolute Superman was such a turnaround for me. I really wanted to throw it there. X-Force has been so consistent.
Yep.
But I have to say, and like this is such like I can't believe I'm doing this. But I think I have to give it to Marvel Holiday Tales to Astonish #1 because of that Johnny Storm moment.
Yes.
Like again, that book just brought me so much joy.
Yes.
And it's my book of the week. So
right, exactly. So
we're not giving an award.
Exactly. Let's see here. Kingsport Cal, nice seeing you on Castaway Comics. Also, back issues keeps getting better after year.
Aww.
I appreciate your hard work. Keep it up, and shout out to Chem Dog.
Yay!
Why not? Chem Dog deserves a shout out. Ben Loudly, Sal, I haven't seen Creature Commandos yet, but can you shed some light on a possible rights issue between between DC's G.I. Robot and Jeff Johns' Junkyard Joe? No, I can't. Tea Time 480. I'm a broken record, but despite my concerns about Gunn's DCU, I need Pattinson to be in it to get on board. That being said, Creature Commandos is a weird way to start the DCU. Plus, the continuity is already messy. Yep, because they already addressed the fact that like the Suicide Squad is also in continuity with the new DCU. So is Peacemaker. You know what I mean? It's just very selective, and weird. Right. I understand. I'm right there with you. I also want Pattinson to be the Batman of this universe, and I've made a whole video about it. Hulkzilla, I dare James Gunn to make Force work. He can't because he doesn't work there anymore. Tea Time 480. I'm concerned because Gunn usually just changes characters to fit his desires. Plus, Superman's cast is overstuffed. Still hopeful though. Good to hear. Typical Spider also says thoughts on the after credits. We got our first look at Superman, and he's across in a apocalypse setting. I'm cautiously optimistic. I need that trailer. Yeah, we saw that too. I didn't like pause and look. I don't care. We'll see what happens.
I didn't see that.
It was just like a apocalypse vision or something like that. It was like, oh no, everyone's dead or something. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah.
Well, I guess because Junkyard Joe is part of Jeff Johns' reimagined DC characters, so I guess they must already they've been working on it for a while. So I'm guessing they're fine with it.
Yeah, well, if it's part of the DC anything, they own it. There's nothing they can do about it.
No, Jeff Johns did Junkyard Joe, but it's under Image.
Oh,
but like it's part of his like reimagining of DC's most obscure.
Oh, well, you don't own that, so no.
But it's been going on for a bit, so
yeah.
It could be because it's John. So like now it might be a little bit like, hey, don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Don't publish that.
I don't know. It's interesting. So recommending some comics that are coming out this week.
What are you reading?
Check out. I'm going to read Ultimate Universe Year 1 or Ultimate Universe 1 Year In #1.
Ooh.
That'll be fun.
I guess I'll have to read that too.
Yeah. Amazing Spider-Man 63. We're going to check that out, obviously.
I will try to remember to read that and the one before it.
Storm #3 is dropping. That'll be fun. I see Laura Kinney's getting a book. We'll try that out. Batman Dark Patterns.
That was like in every. That was a preview in every book. I was like, what? Oh, wait, what?
Yeah. I've seen some. Yeah, I looked at it. I didn't read the preview, but I did look through it, and I was like, I dig it. I dig the art. It's Hayden Sherman. So
okay, fair.
So that's fun. Superwoman Special is getting a book. That's cool. I'll probably check that out as well. And I think that's probably it for me as far as like books that are coming. Oh, is that the 11th? Yeah, I can't recommend this book, but you might.
I'm going to. So for me, Ultimate X-Men number 10, definitely be grabbing that. Peach Momoko. I will also grab Dazzler number 4.
That might be
I think this is the end of this. Yes, it is. So this is the last of Jason Liu's Dazzler. I'm also going to be grabbing Batman Santa Claus Silent Night Returns number 3. 100%. I'm here for this book. It's so much fun.
Yep.
And I'm going to be picking up Terminator number 3 because Sal wrote the backup.
It's true.
It's the next 2 pages, so you'll have now 6 pages.
Yeah, 6 pages of a 10-page story that goes across the first 5 issues. Yeah. So thank you very much for your support, folks. I will let you know when issue 4 drops. That should be, but the pre-order has already passed, so just let your comic book store know you want issues 1 through 5. Now the next issues are 4 and 5, so you can still pre-order issue 5, but the pre-order has passed for issue 4, so you'll have to, if you didn't pre-order it, pick it up at a comic book store when it drops.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So let's make sure that we got all the super chats covered. We did. And so we will see you guys next time with another episode. But before we go, I want to make sure to mention that we had sponsors today. Thank you so much to all of you who gave us super chats. We do really appreciate it. It does go towards a worthy cause, which is keeping the lights on here at ComicPop Studios. Of course, check out that backer kit for the 40th anniversary omnibus for Dynamite's Thundercats. It's actually the older Thundercats books from Marvel and stuff collected in either 2 trade paperbacks or 1 omnibus. Check the link in the comments or the description below where you can check out that backer kit and see if you want to back it. Otherwise, we will see you guys next time. But before we also go, check out Tiffany playing Marvel Rivals. People seem to be really excited about Marvel Rivals. So you can watch Tiffany playing Marvel Rivals on youtube.com/@ComicPop Plays or twitch.tv/ComicPop. So either check out ComicPop Plays on YouTube or ComicPop on Twitch, and you can check out Tiffany playing Marvel Rivals or Silent Hill to the remake.
Yeah, I think I don't know what we're gonna do. We have to finish it. We are so close to finish. We're in the hotel.
I know.
We are right there.
Yeah.
But I gotta play Rivals with you guys.
Yes.
Come on.
Absolutely. But thank you all, and thanks to the chat for being cool. And we'll see you guys next time here on ComicPop Returns. Bye, everybody.
Bye.